Welcome to the Rig on Wheels show featuring MVT, the show built for professional truck drivers. Bringing you the latest insights, hot jobs, and tips to keep you moving forward. Powered by Mesilla Valley Transportation, the leaders in safety, fuel efficiency, and innovation, with over 1,600 trucks on the road. Let's hit the road together. This is the Rig on Wheels show featuring MVT.
Hey guys, so when we talk about safety and accountability in trucking, real life incidents remind us of how high the stakes are. The recent fatal crash on I-35 in Austin involving that Amazon subcontractor raises serious questions about compliance, oversight, and what carriers must do to protect lives on the road. So today, Josue and I are going to be breaking down the case. We're not going to cry, but we are going to break down the case and what it means for the potential future of trucking safety. So I am Kameel E, the owner and host of the Rig on Wheels show, the #1 truck driver recruitment show, proudly featuring MVT. And I am joined by our favorite internal recruiter, Josue, over there in El Paso. So he's representing Mesilla Valley Transportation. And of course, each week we bring you industry news, hot jobs, tips for drivers and recruiters. But today's hot topic is going to be that 2 days ago, that semi-truck accident that happened on I-35 in Austin, where the truck driver hit about 19 vehicles. Right there, you see Solomon Whitaker, Kira, let me pronounce this guy's name right. Give me 1 second. And so I can get his name pronounced correctly. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm going to get this done correct here.
Whitaker Araya.
Whitaker Araya. So Solomon Whitaker Araya is him right here. So this accident, it was so hard for me to look at this, but he is facing, Solomon is facing 5 charges of intoxication manslaughter for each person killed and 2 charges of intoxication assault. So he's booked in Travis County Jail over there in Austin. It was a multi-collision that happened about 11:39 on Sunday near Palmer Lane on the I-35. The crash killed 5 people, including an infant and a child, and injured about a dozen other. They were able to clear out, all of the first responders were able to clear out everything after just a few hours, and that was definitely a miracle with everything. His bond has been set. Solomon's bond has been set for $1.2 million. So that's $200,000 for each intoxication, manslaughter charge, and $100,000 for each assault. So, Terrell, you can bring us back up on the screen when you get a chance there. Okay, thanks.
What was he driving?
Well, okay, so let's talk about this. First, they said that he merged over and he kind of barreled over. He didn't merge over. And then he hit like 11 to 19 cars. Because I'm not trying to mess up and say whether it was 11 people he injured or 19 people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That he injured. But they think Now, his sobriety test was 0.0. So it wasn't alcohol.
Oh,
Okay. So that
no, okay.
ever they believe he had CNS in his system, depressants. So it is central nervous stimulants in the system. Now, the normal ones that we know about are going to be Valiums, Xanax, and lorazepam, that one. So those just treat anxiety, sleep disorders, convulsions, acute stress disorders, depressions. Us being recruiters, those drivers are not taken out of driving.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Adderall.
Right.
Okay. And of course, overuse, combining them with other substances can bring about overdose and things like that, and combining them with alcohol. But he had no alcohol in his system. And they said afterwards he was kind of swaying, but he was very calm. That could have been the reason why he went into them like that. He kind of probably fell asleep with his eyes open.
Oh,
So
okay.
that type of thing.
Mhm.
As a professional driver, not us, him, but as a professional driver, he's probably going to be at fault. I don't know. First of all, my heart goes out to the people and the family of the people injured and died.
Mhm.
Let's just start there.
Oh
This
yeah.
is horrific.
Yeah.
But this brings about a whole ball of bullshit coming out
Mhm. Mhm.
because we have an industry that is tough. Okay. We joke about it, but we drink coffee. Do you drink coffee?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even keep us up anymore.
No.
Coffee is our support drink. This is our
Mhm.
adult support drink where, because we can't drink on the job.
Mhm.
It's looked down upon, right? To
Right.
drink on the
Right.
job. So he's taking, and then you got questions. Were these his drugs? Like, and were they
We're
prescribed?
prescribed to him exactly.
So if they were prescribed to him and they're his, and he didn't misuse them, and this is not, these are okay to take DOT wise, are now we're going to come up with another bill saying that drivers that have acute anxiety and stress disorders taken out of the truck, we ain't got no
Yeah.
more drivers.
No.
That's it. Because yeah, you have other ones that are not as aggressive, like Zoloft and stuff like that, but you know, you're in a truck all the time, and but I can understand like the volumes and stuff like that. Those are heavier
So like the
anxiety drugs,
yeah, that
you
maybe
know,
has like more significant side effects than a regular, you know what I
right?
mean?
And you're staring, you know, at the road, and you
For
awake, but you're
hours.
not
Yeah.
awake. Yeah. So that stuff is scary, and all of us have been behind the wheel where you kind of are awake but sleep,
Oh yeah.
but you're not driving an 18-wheeler.
Oh no. There's
So
physics, there's all these things that they need to think about, not just us in a regular pickup, you know?
yeah, I I don't know. This is a whole bunch of, I don't know where this is gonna go.
Oh yeah. Have they already said what he was taking?
No, and because it's such a mess, and I wish it was other comforting words that we can use, but it's not.
Hmm.
Um, they said it'll take a week or so, and they
Mm.
have to get this right because it's DOT
Right.
involved.
Oh yeah.
Um, so it's going to take a week or so.
Yeah, it's gonna open, that window of, like you said, if someone's suffering from this, what if they need to take their prescription? Now that they have to get off the truck and kind of just halt it there until, you take your pill, you let,
We already don't have no drivers.
you know what I mean? So yeah, I get, as far as the industry for sure. Oh man.
And mental health and everything that's going on, and how do you combat that? We don't want anybody killed, so
Hmm.
we don't want that. Just regardless, we don't want any people on the road killed. We don't want any drivers harmed, because regardless if it's said not to be this driver's fault, he has to live with the fact that he took lives.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I definitely think that they charged him with the right thing, manslaughter, because it's not purposeful, so it's going to be manslaughter. And it's intoxication, because at the end
You're
of the
under
day,
the yeah.
he
You're
was intoxicated.
under the influence of something, that's not technically alcohol, so you're probably impaired,
Yeah,
driving.
he's some type of impaired, but it's one of those things now. Where do you go from here?
Oh,
You
right.
know, I am. Every time I read something, it got worse and worse. And I don't mean the situation. I mean, like, where do you go from here? To make it right.
Right.
Because either way, it's going to be harmful. In order to make it right, it's going to harm so much.
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't. And everything is a stimulant.
Hmm.
Coffee
Oh yeah.
is a stimulant. So, but yeah, but your common, I mean, you have other central nervous system things, but your basically things for sleep disorder, convulsions, acute stress, uh, it's a lot of things. Fatigue it brings on extreme tiredness, mental fog, difficulty concentrating, lack of motivation, energy, and it helps but can harm.
Oh yeah.
Is there to help and harm, and it impact performance and recovery, and it spread it over a tenth of a mile. The accident.
Just imagine, like, even as a regular average Joe like myself, driving my pickup, a Dodge Ram,
Mm-hmm.
just a regular pickup truck. If I probably take something like that, I'm probably gonna still be, you know what I mean, not myself, a little bit impaired. Imagine with the rig, when aerodynamics come into play and weight distribution and other people, and it's, oh man, it's difficult. You know what I mean? I just.
And you know how, like, on your prescription bottles where it says caution when operating machinery, or when you're leaving the hospital or whatever, and they say don't make any decisions today. And
Hmm.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is the stuff that they're talking about, and he probably have done this. And the company that he worked for, he only worked for them for 4 months. It doesn't mean that he was a new driver. He was just a new driver for them.
Oh, for
And
them.
doesn't that always happen, right?
Yeah.
That he's a new driver for them. So some of the questions that they're going to need to find out is his driver's license valid? If so, whether he obtained it, was he under the influence of legal substance? Was it prescribed? If so, was it prescribed to him? Were there any road conditions?
Hey,
Ongoing.
Camille, sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt, but Me myself as a driver, if I'm taking something like this, wouldn't it be disclosed either in my medical long form, or I don't
Yeah,
know if it goes into that too much of a detail, but they'll be like, hey, Josue Fierro, this driver, suffers from blah blah blah, so he takes these kind of medications. It should say that, right?
yeah. See,
Oh, okay,
see. I
cool.
mean,
No,
yeah. So yeah, it would definitely be on there. And that's another thing that we want to say to drivers. You want all of this stuff disclosed, right? Because if anything were to happen and shit hit the fan, and
mhm.
shit hits the fan, literally, okay? Okay, picture it. So in this situation, if he's not disclosing things, now we have even more.
You open the other window now
You
of,
open another window because then a carrier could say, oh, we may not have hired this driver if we had known
that
that
he
this
had
was
this,
on their
this.
record.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Um, if we had known that this was on their medical record. Some companies are okay with it, some are not. All of these different things. So this is the reason why it's not a it could be classified as a discrimination thing, but this is some of the things like that CYB cover your butt, like
Yeah,
big time. And
yeah.
then that's the reason why, like, those doctors, they always, if somebody coming up dirty, they're dropping dirty, they make sure. That's why those drug tests take so long to come back when they drop dirty, because they go through multiple tests. No doctor wants to sign off on a dirty drop if it's not
Mm.
really dirty, because those doctors want to make sure everything is done correctly. I want to say this too, do some housekeeping. Make sure you all like, comment, and share, and then also hit the subscribe button. But basically, make sure you share as well. But to get back to it, I don't know. This is going to change some things.
Yeah, for sure. I know that someone's going to be paying close attention to the situation and try to find some type of solution, some type of, update. But oh man, this is crazy. I didn't hear about this. I didn't. Like these past couple of days, we've just been preparing for a dust storm that we're having. So I've kind of just
Yeah,
been
the dust
working in
storm.
dust storms, and that's it. But now just sure it's just like literally news to me. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, okay. And we'll get into that in 3.7 seconds, right? So we got that issue, right?
Mhm.
Now let's talk about these dust storms.
Mm.
You just shared a picture as we're getting prepared. So everybody, just to let you know, Josue and I talk about this, and he just shared a picture with Terrell and I. Terrell, my best friend, which is the producer of the podcast. God bless his mom and daddy. And the 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 truck is hanging off I-10 in El Paso. And if you know anything about the highways and byways in Texas, they way up in the air. So typically when they fall, ain't no coming back.
Right.
Okay. So currently right now you have a driver that's hanging over.
Literally. Mhm.
Literally hanging over. And so the question that Josue and I have, and I've been in this for industry for over 15 years now, and what's hard is we got to get this freight moving. We can't stop for everything. No load, period, is ever worth a driver's life. His job is always to get home to his wife and his mama. Always. Okay? Your job as a driver, your woman, get home to your family. That's always your job. Next paragraph. You thinking, okay, this one is not so bad. Today is a great day. Let's go ahead and run this. But depending on how things are loaded, this could be the thing that's whipping. You don't have enough traffic around you to kind of sustain these winds. And now we have a thing where this truck driver is laying over, and this is going to be for a long time. We're going to be off work, going to sleep, and wake up again, and they still going to be dealing with this driver. So now that this driver has a rollover, Josue, and my question is, what's going to happen with his career?
I mean, this is one of those questions that could go, I think it could go either, left or right, depending on who sees it. I understand the company's perspective of things of, hey, if you knew the conditions, why were you out there? You know what I mean? It's like if you don't feel comfortable driving in snow, or you don't want to chain, just pull over to the side if you don't feel comfortable. But I mean, just because it just happened here, I know the weather. I literally just left about 45 minutes before this happened to get my laptop to charge it so I could do the podcast because I left it at home.
Well, thank you.
So I just told Amy, because I live 2 blocks. So I told Amy, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Let me get it. She's like, go for it. Cool. I went to get the iPad. Literally drove 2 minutes, got my stuff. By the time I got here, like 5, 6 minutes later, you start feeling like the wind going significantly harder than it did like 5 minutes ago. But imagine some drivers, I don't know if he's from here or not, but what if you're just driving? Okay, cool. It's not with windy, not that windy, and all of a
Just
sudden,
like I said, and
dust.
all of a sudden.
The dust storm hits, and it's not your regular dust storm. Like we're having, like our phones are going off because of the dust storm that we never. But all of a sudden, dude is just probably like, "What am I doing sideways? Like I didn't see this coming." So I personally think I'm more for the driver. I'm more like, "Hey, well, hear him out." You know what I mean? But I know how other companies could probably be like, "Hey, you knew the circumstance. Why would you put yourself in that position?" So it's kind of hard, depending on who views it.
And then this is the reason why it's so important that when you get your CDL that you drive over the road and you drive all 48. I am from Chicago. I've been doing this 15 years. I am really just starting to learn about dust storms. Okay. I mean, and I've been on Earth for a little over 20 years. But just a little over 20 years. And I mean, like, what are we talking about? Dust storms. I mean, when I moved down here to Texas, I found out the hard way what a flash flood was.
All right.
Chicago, we don't have flash floods. We don't have dust storms. We have blizzards, but we don't have those we didn't have those type of natural type of disasters. So we have winds, and we have a lot of wind. I'm from the windy city, but dust storms, that's TV.
I feel because dust storms, I feel like it's a double whammy. First, the wind itself, it's already swaying your rig.
Yeah, you can't
Second,
see. Just like
I was
snow.
about to say, second is visibility. Like I just went to California like 2 weeks ago and took the family out there. I was just entering Indio, California. Yeah, Indio. I was driving with the family. All of a sudden, I see like a dust storm, and I'm like, "Oh man, it looks crazy. It's like brown the sky, crazy." I'm following a semi. Next thing you know, the semi just disappears on me. I'd never been so scared in my life that I had to kind of stop, put my the emergency lights on, and I was literally just like, hopefully this just the semi doesn't appear right in front of me. And then the wife was trying to talk to me. I was like, please, babe, not right now. Like I'm trying to focus. And me, that's in my wife's SUV. Like that's gonna go back to the big rigs, no visibility. Wind is just a recipe for disaster for sure.
And see, stuff like that. And that's how it is, but Terrell, you can jump in if you want to, Terrell. Like legit, that is how it is with us when it comes to snow. Like those snowstorms, it'll be a whiteout. And we can't see nothing.
Yeah, people in Chicago don't know how to drive when it's raining or snowing outside.
They drive better than Houston, so anybody drive better than Houston. But but a complete whiteout, like you said, where you just the semi or whatever vehicle in front of you completely disappears, and you pray to God that when it reappears, it's not because you're slamming into it.
Exactly.
But the dust storms, which does the same thing, but we just don't, when you're not from that region of the country, you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, you don't know how to maybe maneuver it or go through it or just weather the storm. You're just thinking
I
it's
have no idea.
okay.
I wouldn't know what
Yeah.
to do. I would literally not know what to do. So, but this is where you have some of these dispatchers or carriers, let's not blame it all on the dispatchers, would be pushing these drivers, because we know if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning, and it's not just for a driver, it's for the entire company, right? So they can't afford there to be a dust storm. They'll be like, oh, so what about the dust storm? And they keep pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. So a lot of times you just never know what the issue is.
Yeah, I'm with you. It
Yeah.
could be like a lot of people think it's a driver, but the driver could probably say, "Hey, they've been literally barking in my ear, take this load, take this load. Oh, I can't see. It's okay. Just, weather the storm, go through it." And then ultimately it's the driver that's taking the hit, because he's the one
It's
driving out
always
there.
a
It's
driver
always
that's
going to
taking
be
it.
yeah.
Because you saw that. I don't know if anybody saw that. However, the minute after that incident on I-35 with Solomon, Amazon was like, all of our drivers are subcontractors. They do not drive for Amazon. They just haul for Amazon loads. It was like, clock that T, clock that
Yeah,
T. That's not us.
yeah,
Done.
yeah.
Real quick. So that's that. What we want to do is go ahead, go to commercial. When we come back, we will discuss the hot jobs, because Pearson and Josue got quite a few hot jobs for us for this week. So I'm very excited, and I do want to let you know I did give my team the hot jobs in advance, because
Nice.
I
Let's
just
go.
believe in favoritism. Okay, so there's the.
My name is Josue Fierro, and I am a recruiter, and I've been with Mesilla Valley going on 3 years now. Before I joined the Mesilla Valley Transportation family, I was at GCU as a loan officer. I feel that I acquired some skills there, providing customer service, learning, to listen to the customer, and learning patience. I think that helped me out right now where I'm at with Mesilla Valley Transportation, because I could actually apply those skills to what I do now, which is, helping drivers, getting them behind the wheel and getting them a job. So basically what I do here in recruiting, it's something good. We for sure give jobs to drivers, so it feels good, that we help people. Communication is great there in our department, from leadership to employees. We have a good working environment there, and it feels homey. Like, it feels like a home environment. It feels a family-oriented environment. So, yeah. I guess I acquired skills here at Mesilla Valley Transportation. One of them would be knowledge of the transportation industry. I was not aware of the transportation. I was just more into financing, and I think it's good to know that transportation takes a big role in our country, and we do something good here. What made me apply Mesilla Valley Transportation was basically word of mouth, the reputation that this company has. You see them everywhere on billboards, the trucks on the street, you see, you hear them in the news ads. So you see Mesilla Valley Transportation everywhere, and you just hear from people here, local people, saying that Mesilla Valley is great, it's a great company to work for, and I was excited to join. My life changed when I joined Mesilla Valley Transportation in a big way. And one of them was them, of course, providing stability, giving me a peaceful state of mind, knowing that I could provide for my family, knowing that I could do what I do every single day without worries of, job security, in other words. and they actually helped me out a lot as well. As far as my daughter, she's 17. She wanted to get a first job in the summer marketing. Was able to go ahead and help me out, bring her in here as an internship over the summer, which she loved. She gained a lot of experience for her being her first job. Now she loves it. Now she wants to go to school for it and get a degree, so she's happy and I'm happy. I would definitely recommend people to work here. It's ever since I walked here the first day, it felt like a family-oriented work environment. Everyone's smiling, everyone's friendly, everyone talks to you like if they know you for years. So for sure, if I had to go ahead and tell someone, I would definitely recommend someone to work here in the Sea of Valley. My name's Josue Fierro. I'm a driver recruiter, and MVT changed my life.
Well, isn't that just the cutest little video? But you so used to it now. You like, oh, I'm a celebrity. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, hold off the pictures, you know.
Ah, too funny, too funny. Okay, so let's get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Look at that. I'm rapping today. I'm kind of like T.I. expeditiously. So Terrell, go on and throw it up there, please.
Perfect. So hot jobs. So this one is Division 150. Right now, Division 150, we're hiring out of specific areas, which they are El Paso, the DFW area, and the Houston area. They have to be a 75-mile radius from this city, the cities that we just went over with. El Paso, DFW, Houston, Division 150. Basically, you will hit up all the spots that you guys see there, that's circles. For example, the Carolinas, Florida, Alabama, Georgia area, of course, the Texas, and a little bit of New Mexico, which is Albuquerque. Okay, so this route takes about 6 to 7 days, so tops a week out with 2 days at home, and you'll see the average amount there of 1464 to 1525 on a weekly basis during driving. Okay, this position right here is Division 220. I like this one personally a lot. It covers, the dark blue states for sure, which is Washington, Oregon. You run through California, but that's depending on freight. So it's not necessarily going to be hitting California up all the time, but you'll run through California depending on freights. And 220 is out of Phoenix, Salt Lake City, Portland. Um, Coming down, depending on where you live, you hit up those circles. So you might stop at Salt Lake City, you might stop in the Denver, Albuquerque, El Paso, or Phoenix area coming back home. So check out those blue states. Those are the ones you're hitting, and then coming back, you those bubbles. That's where kind of you'll stop on the way back home. This one is a 7 to 8 day route. 2 days at home. And this one, yeah, you start making a little bit more money. This one, you'll be hitting over the $2,000 on a weekly basis. So this is also one of our hot jobs that right now we're needing some drivers to help us fill in some empty slots there. So, just please apply and we'll make sure to take care of that for sure. And of course, fan favorite, my favorite is it's a Division 329. This one is, Texas regional. So you hit up the dark side of Texas. You might come to El Paso where I'm at, but most of the driving will be done in the eastern, northern part of Texas, with the exception of going to Oklahoma, Tulsa, and Norman, and to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We do have some customers out there. This is a route that, I mean, if you live in the DFW area, San Antonio, Laredo, Houston, 75-mile radius from those cities. Again, it's Houston, DFW, San Antonio, or Laredo, 75-mile radius. You could qualify for this account here. It's 5 to 7 days out, 34-hour reset, anywhere from 1250 to over the $1,800 on a weekly basis. And another hot job right here is Division 400. This is basically out of Nashville and Memphis people, drivers. Memphis, Nashville would be the positions. This is the account that you'll qualify for, which is basically you hit up, those bubbles. So some Northeast, some Pennsylvania, some Carolinas, some Kentuckies, Indianas, of course, the Tennessee area. I like this route because first of all, it's 5 to 7 days out, so about a week, less than a week out. With a 34-hour reset, you'll be making right underneath the $1,700 mark, 1,650 on a weekly basis. However, on top of your base salary, you do qualify for a productivity bonus. So if you remain active, if you are aware of how to, work your hours properly, then if you run 10,000 miles in a month, you get 2 cents for all those miles on top of your base salary. Or if you run 12,000 miles, you go ahead and get 5 cents for all those miles on top of your base salary as well. So there's always ways to make a little bit more cash on top of your base salary for you to go ahead and take advantage of that.
Okay, so I know everybody talk about that Division 329 at Texas one is their favorite, and then
Yeah.
I do like the golf one with the Jackson, Florida. But that one right there, where you talk about the extra money, 400,
hmm
the bonus, yeah, that's probably me.
Yeah,
That's probably
and some drivers just like, I guess they ask how to do it, but I'm just like, do what you do best and just drive and drive
just wow.
safely and, safe and learn how to work your hours or just work
Mhm.
your hours properly and you get compensated. It's not like we're telling you that you have to have this many things and check all these boxes. It's just if you run 10,000 miles, you get 2 cents. 12,000 miles, you get five. So at the end of the month, you get yourself a little bonus on top of your base salary. Don't hurt no one. A little bit extra cash.
Yeah, and it's not even a lot of miles because typically drivers always want 2,500 miles. And so if you take 2,500 times 4, there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
So it's not as if MVT is rewarding you for doing more. They're actually rewarding you for doing what the drivers always say, the amount of miles they're wanting minimum.
Right.
Minimum. So there's that. So that's probably why I like that one so much, is because you're actually rewarded for doing what drivers say they want on the minimum.
Right.
Now, that's why I say this actually is the route where you put your money where your mouth is, because you got to show up in order to actually get it, and that type of thing. But let's go ahead. What I want to do is, well, first, in order to get any of those jobs, we do have other jobs other than MVT, just in case you don't qualify for MVT. Majority of MVT jobs, you need at least 6 months experience in order to qualify. So do remember that. They are looking for professional drivers, so they're not looking for job hoppers and that. But if you don't yet qualify, Nimmer, Raven, Joy, Diana, everybody, they will, Marcus, everybody will sit down, try to draw up a plan for you so we can get you on that road to be able to get with MVT or like their company. But either way, give us a call at 281-968-3100 or go directly to the website, which is probably a good idea, right? Go directly to the website at rigonwheels.com. Click on the tab that says driver application, and you will be able to complete the Intella app. Okay. You'll be able to auto complete it. As well, in the description below, if you're looking at this on YouTube, in the description below, you're going to have a driver application that will have a referral code on it, and we'll know as well that you're coming from this particular podcast. So that'll be great too. So what I do want us to do is go to the driver appreciation commercial before we do anything else. And the reason why is because we were just talking about professional drivers when it came to Division 400. And in order to get this driver appreciation, in order to win the car, in order to win the $20,000 at the end of the year, you 100% have to be a professional driver. And that's just what it is. But I do want to show that because MVT doesn't just celebrate driver appreciation when everybody else celebrates it. They actually, I was trying to find this year's Faces of the Road calendar. I'll have it by the time the commercial comes out. But in September is the driver appreciation for the trucking industry. But MVT actually celebrates it quarterly, and drivers are actually there. Okay, so I know Josue was like, "Man, what the hell are you talking about?" But I've been around for just a little bit, and I've been around long enough to know that every carrier that has driver appreciation time does not invite drivers. Okay, so yes, shame on those carriers. But Terrell, if you can go to commercial and show us a commercial about driver appreciation, we would be honored.
I feel very, very excited about my achievement. I'm very proud of giving to the company the legacy of the Sandoval family. I'm very proud, very excited. So you can see it on my face. So very excited.
Well, you know, it's been a big passion of ours to get fuel mileage and to be the best. And my goal was to get all the drivers wanting to do it. It'd be one thing if I have 5 drivers kind of get fuel mileage, that's great. But what's that doing for the environment? What's that doing for the company? So by creating the game where he or she with the best fuel mileage at the end of the quarter gets a car, it makes a lot of the people want to do it. So the idea is to get more and more people trying to get through. I mean, we create the best truck we can get. I make a truck that's easy rolling, less parasitic drag, very aerodynamic, and then I got to get in the head of this gentleman and the other people driving and make them want to drive it that way. Where you can drive the car easy. I always say if you treat it like it's about to break, it never will. Treat a truck like a beautiful woman, gently, caress it nice and caress it gently and make it last. Makes the truck last, makes you last, and the safety. Like, and he said, patience. Patience is everything. Patience in truck driving. If you're impatient, think about every time somebody pulls in front of you, which is all the time. You get all mad, you can just run into them. You got to try not to wreck with these people. You're always driving defensively, so you ease on the brake and you make sure you don't want to just slam on the brake and then slam on the gas. That kills the brakes, kills the mileage. So when they're being patient, they're slowly taking their time and staying out of the longest line and getting in the shortest line and, you know, ease around and just make yourself go gently and go. Just take care of it, and that makes you safer. It makes the tires last, it makes the brakes last, it makes the motor last, and it makes the fuel last, and it makes the people around us last because we're not running over them. It's safety.
Hey, my name is Roberto Sandoval. I am a driver trainer in this company. I have 24 years as a truck driver here in this company, and I win the 25,000 and also the trainer of the year, mentor of the year. I can't believe it right now, but I do the best always.
What do you do in order to get the best fuel mileage?
I always do, first of all, be positive. Secondly, set my objectives. And third, just do it. No matter what happens, because sometimes you cannot get a good MPGs because there is a traffic, a lot of wind, or heavy loads. But I wait for tomorrow. And don't worry, be positive no matter what happens. Just avoid be anger or I can do it. No, I can do it. I'm gonna do it. That's all we have to do. Don't give up. Never give up.
I'm so proud of Roberto and all the things he's done, and you know, it's not just his family. I forget how many people he's trained over the years, but we've had a lot of car winners and a lot of trainers that are still training here that won a car because they learned from him. They went on, they started here, they saw how he did it, They listened, they watched, and then they go win a car on their own, and then they train somebody who then wins. It just keeps getting passed down. We just keep creating better and better drivers, and a lot of it started at the top, and the top is Roberto Sandoval.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
Thank you.
Always is a pleasure to see you in this season.
It's the holiday season. What would the holiday do without Sandoval?
This commercial, I can't never get enough of it. Because Roy Jones, so innocent. He up here thinking it was because of Christmas time. Big Sandoval was like, no, it's because of this check. It's because of this check. Forget your little Christmas. But no, I love it. And then I love the other Sandoval. No relation, I already know, but I love it. They probably cousins way back, you know.
Probably.
But I brought up the Mayflower because shout out to Hello Retention. They do sponsor this segment. But we were talking about the Mayflower yesterday. But what the heck was I saying? Mayflower. Oh, he is so humble.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And how he said that he bring in, you know, good to his Sandoval name. He sound like me, bringing good to my name and all of that. I love that. We are still in March, ladies and gentlemen. So, according to the Faces of the Road, Stories Behind the Wheel 2025 calendar, and the only reason why I know we're still in March is because the calendar says so. If the calendar didn't say so, we wouldn't know what we were in. But it's still Women History Month. And so next week, I'll be at the Mid-American Truck Show, and I'm speaking on Friday. Shout out. Woo-hoo. Okay. I thought that was... So when you all see me again, it'll be on Tuesday, so I would not have spoken yet. But when I see you again in April, I will have spoken. But anywho, we were talking about how great MVT is and the fact that they respect their drivers so much and appreciate their drivers so much. And it's important for them to appreciate their drivers quarterly. However, I know as an industry, we do it in September. So according to the Faces of the Road calendar, the National Driver Appreciation Week is the third week in September. And we know that why? Because of the calendar. The calendar. Okay. But I did want to say that because I didn't have a calendar right at my fingertips before the commercial, but it is right here, right here. But what I want to do is go to a very, very quick commercial, come back, do a few questions for Josue and I to discuss and answer. It's always great to have Josue on here because he's a recruiter and he gives it to you just like in a raw, unfiltered. He just say all type of stuff. So I love it. And so that's what we're going to do when we come back, okay? Be back in 2 and 2. Terrell, can you read that question for us? It was just text.
Yes. The question is, what makes MVT a great place for drivers compared to competitors? That's for you, Josue.
Okay, for sure. Good question. So, I mean, I could go on this, but things that I kind of see off the bat as a recruiter, that I see is even if a driver in the beginning stages of this process fails a road test, we just don't, send them back home. Too bad you failed. We give them options. We give them training. We give them additional training with either a local or just hang out and kind of shadow a driver for a little bit. So we give opportunities to these drivers to succeed. We just don't, it's a number. Like we're not just, hey, you failed by. Like we give them options. We give them, and that's just the beginning stages. But what I like as well is that we pay attention to the drivers when they speak, when they talk. So we have, for example, how retention. Basically, you know, let's say for example, I hire a driver and next week something happens to a truck. We have a team that is heavily involved, hearing drivers' concerns and either getting that truck fixed or give them another truck, make sure that they are pleased and make sure that they're happy once they're with Mesilla Valley. Another thing is what kind of Camille was saying, it's driver appreciation. Like we were talking about it months ago, and I just thought every company does driver appreciation and every company throws a party for the drivers. But when we're here and when we go to the terminal to attend driver appreciation, you just see these drivers' faces. They're all eating, hanging out, playing games. And not just the drivers, but the drivers' families. You even see like the drivers' wives, the drivers' husbands, the kids, and it's just because without the drivers, we're nothing. You know what I mean? So I know that, that Royal Jones takes a lot of pride in that, and they want to make sure that our drivers are taken care of, our drivers concerns are heard, not just by a recruiter but by a team that's going to do something about it. And providing options and providing opportunity for our drivers to become trainers or to if be involved in the transportation world, but in a different way if they want to be involved in orientation. And so I feel that we listen to our drivers and we pay attention and we value him for sure. We don't see him as a dude in the truck. We see him as Mr. Sandoval, and how he's a pillar in NVT and the people he brings in. So we just respect our drivers and we make sure we try to keep our drivers as happy as we can for sure.
Yeah, I piggyback on that MBT does do a lot, and it goes a long way. And I definitely know that the drivers that maybe have worked with MVT in the past and now have come back, they see a difference. And I have recruited years ago for MVT, and now having a team that recruits for MVT, we do see a difference. So it's definitely a different pride in recruiting, if I can be frank, a different pride to recruit for MVT and sticking my chest out. I really can stick my chest out and say I recruit for MVT now versus before. I would say, yeah, we recruit for MVT. I would say it like really mousy like. But we have a question for from Darcella Deanna. After hearing about the crashes caused by impaired drivers, how do you feel about stricter drug testing for drivers? Does it go far enough? So I think that the drug testing is strict. That's for sure. Where I think the can of whoop ass is going to open up is whether or not the prescription drugs that we take that are normal are going to be ones that the ATA or, you know, other associations that lobby for our industry are going to bring up in question. Because, hold on, guys. Sorry, this is what happened when you're live and you start having personal summers. So, don't judge me. Your wife will get there. Jesus. But this is what happens, and this is how regulations happen when big incidents occur, and they change lives, typically in a bad way, not in a good way. They change it in a bad way, and a driver is caught up in it, whether he should or shouldn't be. I don't know. Everything hasn't come out about it, and I don't want to crucify Solomon because of media and pictures, because we don't know yet. To be honest with you, but what I am afraid is the trucking industry is very stressful, and it's a lot of mental health that is affected with our drivers. They're in these trucks for 11 hours a day driving, and then if they're OTR regional, and it's relative depending on how you classify that, they sleep in these trucks. They live in these trucks. And even if they're local, they might be out of the trucks just for 10 hours for a break, and then they're back in the truck. You know how, like, we are with our work people more than we are with our loved ones at home. You know, their work people are their cab, just a truck, this little small cab, that's it. And they are taking these supplements or what have you, and it's prescribed by a doctor, and they're not the ones that are outlawed or prohibited, is a better word to say, a better DOT or FMCSA word to say, by they're not prohibited. So I don't know if they go far enough. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. I'm afraid that they are going to go too far with the law. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that they are going to make an example out of this industry. That's what I'm afraid of. Not just out of the driver, out of drivers. That's what I'm afraid of. People that are not behind the wheel, that don't have to deal with everything that drivers have to deal with on a regular basis, are going to be the ones that are making decisions without having a roundtable discussion with drivers. That's what I'm afraid of. What do you think, Josue?
I mean, you covered everything, but yeah, it's just I'm just actually wondering what are they gonna do or thinking of doing? Because I think whatever they do, it's gonna impact, you know what I mean, for the good or for the bad. It's just gonna, you know what I mean? So it's kind of just brace ourselves and see what kind of adjustments they're gonna do, you know, regarding all this, and just not the drivers, all of us adjust to this and then kind of move forward from it. But I'm just curious what route they're gonna take and what they're gonna brainstorm and have, you know what I mean? So that's just kind of want to wait and see what happens.
It is going to be, and what this is the thing here. Whatever's going to happen, when they make the decision, they're going to do it because they feel like it's the best decision. Let's say that.
Mhm.
When they do the decision, it's not because they're just making light. They're actually doing the decision because they know it needs to be done, right? But it's going to be a tough one. It's definitely going to be a tough one. What I want is that when the decision is made, it's not just made by the stiff shirts. Am I saying that right? Is that the saying? Okay. I want it to be made by them and also drivers.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. Just like we need the perspective of, of a driver, since they're the ones that are doing this for a living,
Yeah.
so I could understand how someone, button up could probably say, hey, this is the best thing to do it. But you also need just a person that does that for a living to also say, hey, maybe you should consider this, because you know what I mean. So I think you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah. So that's just my concern. Thank you, May, for bringing this up, because this is a perfect question, and it's very hard to swallow, because I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a pretty hard one. And I already know that the lawyers are chomping at their teeth and excited and everything. But this is going to be a huge case study for 20 years. This right here, people's masters and dissertations are going to be written about this one right here. For sure, 100% for sure. Because mental health in this industry, I don't know when Mental Health Month is. 1 second, let me look that up real quick.
But I mean, it's just like what they go through. Like that's why I like to listen to drivers and hear their stories. Even here at work, sometimes you get frustrated with your coworkers. Not like in a bad way. It's just like, hey, I don't have the energy. You know what I mean? But imagine being in a truck, and then from there you don't even go to the sleeper or to the bunk, and then kind of hang out there. And I mean, yeah, it takes a lot, these drivers. I guess we just not that we take them for granted, but I mean their lifestyle is different than ours for sure.
For damn sure. Mental Health Month starts May 1st, and this is the reason why these months are more than just something we put on the Faces of the Road 2025 calendar. We need to bring awareness to this so people can actually do research and understand it, and understand the people that are lobbying and doing the work out here, the footwork. It takes a lot. It does. It takes a lot. But we are going to close this out. Josue, thank you so much. This was a great episode.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot to build off of, and to keep going. Kind of wish April was Mental Health Month, but it's not. And but either way, I want everybody to be safe. We are going to all do Hail Marys and do our prayer for 1 minute, hold on. I think Terrell has another question. Terrell, you got another question for us?
No, but I did want to play on the way out that last MVT testimonial in Spanish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, So we're
on the way out.
Okay, on the way out, we have another testimonial, but we are going to definitely pray. I don't know who all are believers, but because we're more 2 or more gather, so we're gonna definitely pray about that driver, because I know there's going to be hours and hours. We're going to go to sleep and wake up, and they're still going to be dealing with their driver in El Paso on I-10. So we're going to sign off, but Terrell wants to play that, and we'll see you back next week, 2 o'clock at 3 p.m. Central Standard.
Mi nombre es Cristian Reyes. Llevo 5 años manejando con MVT y soy over-the-road truck driver. La división en la que yo estoy sería la 220, pues del Paso a California y a veces Oregon. Las millas que corro en la semana puede llegar a ser 3,200 y mi MPG en la troca creo que ahorita está como un 8, 9 o 9. Lo que más disfruto de ser parte de MVT es que hay ambiente familiar y que si te pasa algo estás cuidado. Mis pensamientos en el fuel bonus sería que es muy buen programa, buen incentivo cuando estás manejando bien, no sabes cuánto te va a tocar o a veces ni te esperas que tengas el bono por estar haciendo bien tu trabajo. Lo que yo pienso que es la mejor opción de MBT es que te dicen claramente lo que vas a esperar, no te andan con rodeos, no te andan con trucos, que sabes que ven para acá y te pagamos tanto, en ese momento te respetan tu pago. Bueno, con las oportunidades que me ha dado MBT de tener tiempo en la casa es que cuando necesito que pasa una urgencia, sí me dicen, ¿sabes qué? Ok, te tenemos una carga, vas a regresar este día, tengo que hacer lo que tengo que hacer y no hay ningún problema. De la cultura de la compañía me gusta mucho que hay respeto, eso es lo más importante. Consejo que les daría a alguien que empezara aquí, pues básicamente nomás hacer tu trabajo, asegurarte de que sí lo estés haciendo, que no nomás lo veas y digas, ok, todo está bien, no, que te pongas a checar el tráiler, la troca, los papeles, y si tienes alguna pregunta llamas a tu dispatch que te contesten. Si me dieran la troca para ir a algún lugar que yo quisiera ir, me la llevaría a Canadá para ir a parquearla enfrente de las cataratas del Niágara y tomarle una foto. O sea, porque se vería bien bonito y es una experiencia muy bonita andar allá.